Pat Williams will take the floor.
Things are stirring. They're stirring big time.
Major League Baseball is expanding. I don't know when it's happening, and I don't know where they're going to go. But if Commissioner Rob Manfred gets his way, a 32-team MLB could very well become a reality.
I do think 32 teams would help us. It opens up a whole host of things. You get to 4-team divisions, which work better in the schedule. You could geographically realign. You could have a little different playoff format, a lot more flexibility.
The fans are on board, and it's not hard to see why. Adding a new team is exciting. It means opening up a brand new market and fan base, or in some cases, reopening them.
What do you think their chances of coming back here are?
I have some insight, so I better not say, but I'm like 100% positive it's going to happen.
This got me thinking. If Major League Baseball were to expand, how would it happen? For context, I was born 2 years after the last MLB expansion. Since then, every major North American sports league except MLB has introduced at least one new team. So I took a deep dive into all of the history, rules, and rumors I could find about MLB expansion in order to figure out what it might look like if it were to happen today. Let's get into it. Before I keep going, I gotta give a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video, Ipsos iSay. Ipsos iSay is a survey-based company that lets you turn your opinion into cash. All you gotta do is answer simple questions that are tailored to your interests, and in exchange, you can start earning rewards and gift cards for places like Amazon. To give you an example of something you can get with an Amazon gift card, I bought this clown horn. As you can see, it works perfectly. And it wouldn't have been possible without Ipsos iSay. Thanks, Ipsos iSay. The surveys are quick and easy, so you can do them basically anytime from anywhere. So click the link to start earning rewards with Ipsos iSay today.
Each year, the Florida Suncoast Dome is not just plans and promises. It's a brand new 42,000-seat stadium designed specifically for baseball. In the words of Whitey Herzog, it's the best dome I've seen for baseball.
It's March 9th, 1995. Major League Baseball has just announced a pair of new teams, bringing the total number to 30. In the lead up to this day, rumored locations ranged from Orlando to Vancouver to Guadalajara. In the end though, the owners have voted in favor of Phoenix and the Tampa area. In 3 years' time, they'll open their gates as the Diamondbacks and Devil Rays, respectively. That day will end a 40-year period that saw the league nearly double in size. That's a big increase, especially considering that MLB hadn't expanded once in the 60 years before then. Through the year 1960, MLB was made up of 16 teams, divided between the American and National Leagues. Until 1952, in fact, none of these teams were located west of the Mississippi River. Most were spread across just 4 cities, with 3 in New York alone. But beginning in the 50s were some pretty big changes. Air travel became more popular after World War II, and getting across the country went from 4 days to 8 hours. The baby boomers were, well, booming, with California alone gaining 3.5 million people. Tired of splitting markets with the Red Sox, the Boston Braves moved to Milwaukee in '52. The St. Louis Browns became the Baltimore Orioles in '53, and the Philadelphia Athletics moved to Kansas City the year after that. Most shocking, though, was in 1957, when the Giants and the Dodgers both decided to leave town for the West Coast. With 2/3 of New York fans now out of a team, they demanded a replacement. Mayor Robert Wagner hired William Shea to get New York an NL team. Shea turned to baseball legend Branch Rickey for help.
Presidents and the Commissioner of Baseball.
Oh, is it Branch Rickey?
Branch Rickey!
And in 1959, they announced the brand new Continental League.
Mr. Rickey, how about that third league?
Inevitable is tomorrow morning.
With 8 teams in total, the Continental League would be a third major league. It would be located in cities like Atlanta, Houston, and New York, and would begin play in 1961. The established owners weren't happy about this, obviously, but they were scared. Congress was threatening to remove MLB's antitrust exemption, which would strip them of their legal monopoly on professional baseball in the US. To be clear, the antitrust exemption is total bullshit, but it's also a story for another video. A year earlier, the Senate itself had questioned Yankees manager Casey Stengel on the matter.
There is now, through the farm system, a major league control of the professional occupation of baseball playing. Is that a correct summary?
Well, you have that, from the standpoint of what you've been reading, you've got that down very good.
Facing pressure from all sides, MLB offered a deal to the Continental League. They would take in 4 new teams at once, and 4 more teams at a later date. Nothing was set in stone, but MLB expansion was finally happening. 1961 saw the debuts of the Los Angeles Angels and the Washington Senators. Houston got their own team the next year, alongside New York and the Mets. MLB would expand again in 1969, 77, 93, and 98, adding 14 teams in total. Save for Buffalo, every Continental League city would eventually receive a franchise. Now, how does expansion actually work? Let's dig a little deeper.
Until you get a Major League Baseball team, you're not really a big league market.
Expansion seems basically inevitable by now, causing a ton of speculation on where these new teams might go. For this video, I've narrowed it down to the cities that I think are most likely. Charlotte, New Orleans, and Salt Lake City have all been floated, and Mexico City has been a strong possibility for a while. The Giants met the Padres just this past April for the first ever Mexico City series. Tickets sold out in less than an hour. According to Manfred, though, it's not happening. There are issues with stadium size, weather, and demand, especially in a city where the average income is just $600 to $700 a month. Mexico will get a team at some point, but probably not soon. NBA owner Pat Williams, meanwhile, is going to bring a team to Orlando, or die trying. He unveiled the Dreamers in 2019, named after the likes of Walt Disney and Arnold Palmer. They do have a decent case. Orlando is one of the biggest markets without an MLB team, and their proposed stadium, located right next to SeaWorld, definitely fits the city's vibe. But that's not mentioning the elephant, or I guess Ray, in the room. To put it bluntly, Florida isn't getting 3 teams. For Orlando to happen, the Rays would have to leave the Tampa market. For that to happen, stadium talks between the Rays and St. Petersburg would have to completely fall through by 2027. And at least for now, that doesn't seem likely. It's not just the Dreamers who are waiting on Tampa either. MLB won't be considering any new expansion teams at all until the Rays and the A's, and I'm paraphrasing here, figure their shit out. Once that's done though, we can get down to the top candidates. The first city to look at is Portland. In 2017, Craig Cheek, former vice president of Nike, formed the Portland Diamond Project alongside Trailblazers broadcaster Mike Barrett. Compared to other MLB cities, Portland would be 20th in population and 10th in median income. The Trailblazers set attendance records, and the Portland Pickles are the most popular summer league team on the internet. The Oregon government actually set aside $150 million for a stadium back in 2003, when the city was making a bid for the Expos. They also have at least $1.3 billion from private investors, and an inside source called Portland the most organized of all the cities in the running. Next up is Nashville. All-star pitcher Dave Stewart has spent months pitching investors as the face of Music City Baseball, a group trying to bring the game back to the Tennessee capital. Named the Stars after the city's old Negro League club, they've got history to spare. Nashville is really popular among players too. Throw in big names like Tony La Russa and Don Mattingly, and the city looks primed to join the league. The last spot on the list, and probably the most fun to think about, is Montreal. The original Expos are still one of the biggest what-ifs in baseball history. They produced Pedro Martinez, Vladimir Guerrero, and Gary Carter. They had some all-time great teams, and they remain iconic to this day. Yet, they struggled to draw a consistent crowd. Olympic Stadium often went empty, and costs too much to repair nowadays. And given that it's only been 20 years or so since the Expos left, who knows if things would be that different a second time around. Still, it's the second biggest city in Canada, and the mayor has met with MLB on multiple occasions. In an era of reboots and revivals, bringing the Expos back might be a logical move for Major League Baseball. But will they actually go through with it? I don't think so. More than anything else, MLB is going to want balance. They've said in the past that any league expansion would likely see one team in the East and another on the West. With this in mind, I'm going with Nashville and Portland as my predictions. I want to hear yours though, so sound off in the comments. Now, going to a 32-team league is going to require some realignment. So here's how that might look. There would be some big changes. Gone are the AL and NL as we know it. These divisions are based on geography instead. This is mostly to make travel easier for teams and fans, but it'll also make regional rivalries more intense. There would be 4 divisions per league, with 4 teams each. I did my best to preserve existing rivalries, like the Yankees-Red Sox and the Dodgers-Giants, while also maybe creating a few new ones in there. The playoffs can keep the same 12-team format, with 4 division winners plus 2 wildcard teams per league. But this is just how I would do it. I'm sure I'm missing some stuff here, and please feel free to correct me in the comments. And let me know where you think MLB should put a team. Leave a like, and subscribe for more videos like this one. That's it for now though. See ya!